driving. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active, another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger, 2 if you're very overweight, and 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio prediabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Welcome back to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with Aurora Workman, and our guest today is Gerald McCaffery, a president CEO that brings a business approach to providing critical human services with extensive experience in strategic planning, media relations, program development, and finance. So when accepting the position of CEO, what was your greatest organizational development concern?
I think, what was mentioned a little bit earlier, the funding that you get is never sufficient to kind of do what's necessary. So trying to sort through what the most pressing needs are so that you spend the money as wisely as possible. And at the same time, you can't always rely on, your different government contracts to do everything that you're doing. So you also have to be doing fundraising. We have a board of trustees. In fact, I have 3 board members who are with us who were adopted through our agency back in the 1960s, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, Angel Guardian, which was kind of one of our, previous incarnations as a group, used to do the adoptions for the entire Brooklyn Diocese. And so there's thousands of people who have been adopted through the agency, and my new board chair is actually somebody who was adopted through there. But, I think we're always trying to, how do you engage people? How do you keep folks energized? Because it's very demanding work. It's very personal.
Oh, yes.
It never ends. We are open 24/7, 7 days a week. When snowstorms are coming, some people think about, whoa, maybe I won't be going to work tomorrow. And we have to think about how do we make sure that we're going to be staffed through nighttime and the weekends, and that there's food, and the generators are going to be working, and because it never ends.
It never ends.
Never ends.
It sounds very endless. One of the things that I know now in MercyFirst development, when they did the merger and then they branched out, you were there at that time?
Yeah, I came shortly after the merger, but I have been involved in some other mergers of nonprofits in the past. And the interesting thing, when most people think about mergers of companies, one company buys out another, their stocks, and it kind of goes from there. With nonprofits, both organizations have to really agree that coming together will result in more than by staying apart. And so everyone has to agree that this is the best thing to do. It's not easy, but I think we're probably a good example of MercyFirst is able to do more having come together with the merger of St. Mary's and Syosset and Angel Guardian Brooklyn than if they had stayed apart. In this world that we live in, it doesn't get any simpler. It's always getting more complicated. And, for us, it's, diversity is an important thing in any organization, a business, including a nonprofit, because, there's something you might be doing today that there may not be a need to do tomorrow. I mean, if we remained an orphanage from 1894, there are no more orphanages in the country. They just don't do business that way. So you're always having to try to figure out where are things going. I mean, our campus used to be strictly all boys. Oh. And going back about 8 years ago, we decided that we were going to go co-ed. Yeah. I won't say that the idea was embraced fully by staff, particularly some of my women's staff who probably have their own inside information on that. But, we've been co-ed since then, and we do a great service for adolescent girls who also need that kind of structure and support to get back on their feet in terms of school and peer relations and, be able to plan for where they're going to go in the future.
And then were you able to make those changes when you had the opportunity to present a case for why it would be important to go co-ed at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we had to work with the public agencies because they were like, just because you can work with boys, what does that mean in terms of being able to work in girls?
Right.
What are you going to mean in terms of managing a co-ed campus? What are your plans for that?
Yeah.
So we had to really think it through in terms of what was the best way to plan for that, and so that we were not going to be having any surprises. We had to make sure staff was capable of that. We have both male and female staff in different units working with boys or girls.
Right.
You can't just, young girls who have been with us, many of them have had a history of sexual abuse.
Yeah.
It's important for them to kind of see that there are, men who can be very supportive and caring and not looking to take advantage of them, that are going to be able to provide them with, what you ordinarily would expect from your father or an adult who helps to raise you.
Yeah, what is the criteria for hiring for, to actually work and be interacting with students there?
Yeah, it depends on certainly the different positions that we have. So our youth support counselors are the staff, paraprofessionals. They have certainly a high school diploma. They have to be at least 21 years of age. We always look for somebody who has had some experience working with teenagers. As we all know, working with teenagers can be quite a challenge. And so when you're working with, it's difficult enough when it's your own child. And that's not problem free. So never mind when you're working with not just someone else's child, but maybe 8 or 10 someone else's children.
Right.
And these are kids. And these are kids who have been through a lot of challenges, have been through a lot of trauma, and who will. As I learned when I worked in a group home, if you didn't think you had any buttons to be pushed, they will find them.
Yeah.
And they have not been around folks that they can trust, adults that they can trust. And that's really the first major breakthrough with kids, is for them to connect with an adult who they can trust, who they know cares for them, and is going to be able to kind of help direct them in what they need to do at school and life and family and peers, and really get them on the right track. But we have other positions where you need a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in some related field. We have licensed psychologists, licensed psychiatrists. My CFO, has her, CPA degree. I mean, it's a whole mix of professionals that kind of do this work together.
Okay. You are listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Aurora Workman, along with Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Gerald McCaffery, President and CEO of MercyFirst and a proud alumni of Nassau Community College. So we have a lot of knowledge about the different group, or does MercyFirst manage other group homes throughout the Long Island?
Yeah, so we're in 16 locations in Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. And so we have our main campus in Syosset. We have a couple of offices where staff work in Brooklyn and Queens and Rockaway. And then we have 11 group homes in the community. We have 2 in Brooklyn. We have 2 in Queens. We have 3 in Nassau, and the rest are in Suffolk County. So, we're kind of, they're in the areas where kids live. If you're a family member in Suffolk, you don't want to have your child, be in Brooklyn. You want to have them closer to home, and so that's what we try to do. But it has its challenges when when you're not in one location in terms of staff, and especially when it's a 24/7 operation.
And do you select the group homes or throughout the county, or is it
I certainly have been involved in finding other sites and making sure there's a host of regulations in terms of size of bedrooms, and you need room for offices. If it's 2 floors, you need fire escapes, you need second means of egress on every floor. There's a host of physical plant requirements that have to meet fire department requirements, as well as the public agency that's going to be placing children there. And you want to have a nice place for kids to live. A regular home in the community, and make sure the lawn gets cut and that the grass gets watered and the place is kept in good shape. You always try to have your house be looking as good, if not better, than any of your neighbors.
Right.
So, but usually give it away by, we're the ones with the big van in the driveway. So that's us.
Yeah.
And then as a final thought for our listening audience, from the time you left college up until this very moment, what is the most important lesson that you've come away with?
I think, one thing that you always have to do is, two things I'd say. One is never lose your sense of humor. Mm-hmm. I think, the work is very serious.
You can't.
Yeah,
no,
it's
you
true.
can't.
And the other thing I think, you always have to, realize that you don't know everything.
Right.
You have staff who you depend on, who know the kids. I mean, you also have to have parameters in which people are working. But you got to trust your staff that they're going to do the right thing. You always kind of want to stay focused on why we're all there. We're there for the kids. It's the mission that everyone is focused on. But you have to trust in the people who you hire to do their jobs, and not have me or anyone else be hovering over, everybody's shoulder and telling them everything that they need to do.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So what are some, do you have any future goals for MercyFirst that you would like to see under your head leadership?
The world is always changing. We have some new initiatives that we're going to be doing on our campus starting this summer into the fall. Some new programs with the New York State Office of Children and Family Services. We have been in discussion with another agency about possibly merging. They're an educational organization. So I think we're always looking for where are things going. Try to look at the next step beyond that, and to try to be prepared and flexible to meet whatever the needs are.
Are you would you say you're a technologically savvy person who likes to introduce those?
Yeah, we have certainly all our sites are connected by technology with phone service. We just upgraded our phone, so no matter where you go, you get your calls. Good. We're heavily into with the use of computers. It can certainly be a real time saver. But we are looking to see how we can use technology. Using tablets that people can take with them on the job, so to be able to, record the work that they do and not have to get back to their office before they do it. Yeah. So, but I have people a lot better than I am in terms of technology. So my job is to listen and to figure out if we can afford it.
Well, it seems like you do a great job at listening, and I've known the organization has really grown under you, and and with your guidance and leadership, it has really flourished. And I appreciate the work. I work, like I said, with a lot of kids as an advocate,
right?
And so I appreciate the work that MercyFirst does.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely, that you guys do.
Yes. So we'd like to thank our guest, Gerry McCaffery, President and CEO of MercyFirst, and a proud alumni of Nassau Community College. And how can our audience contact you?
We have certainly a Facebook page, MercyFirst. We also have a website, MercyFirst.org, O-R-G. Our main number, for our offices in Syosset is 516-921-0808. If there's people, we always love to show folks around the campus. It's the best way to kind of demonstrate to folks what we do and how we do it. We're always having people besides the feds coming and checking up on us. We also have folks from public agencies who come, and it's something we're very proud of, and that may be something that some folks in your audience might be interested in doing.
And students do internships?
We have a number of we have a psychology intern program. So these are folks who are studying to be psychologists. This is their year of practical experience, and we have in the course of a year, it depends, anywhere from 15 to 20 master's level students. From Stony Brook, Columbia, NYU, Fordham, Malloy, who we provide internships so that they can see if this is the work that they want to do.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. We'd like to thank our guest, Gerry McCaffery, President and CEO of MercyFirst, and a proud alumni of Nassau Community College. Thank you so much, Gerry, for being here.
Nice to be here.
We want to thank you for being with us again. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with my fabulous friend, Aurora Workman, President of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. The creative director of Lion Tales is Rudy J. Breedy. This show is a production of the NCC Alumni Association. Visit ncc.edu/WHPC for more information. Available as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. Lion Tales is powered by the Nassau Community College College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll talk to you next week.